Welcome back, guys, to another video. The upload brought to you by your one and only literary pharaoh. Yeah, man, on the road to work this morning, guys. Just wanted to kind of have a conversation with you guys that are tuned in. This morning, I had from a psychological point of view, I didn't feel like getting up to do my 3-mile run to the gym and work out at the gym and run back home. My total run is 3 miles, but I run about 2 miles to the gym, and then from the gym back to my house is about another mile. So collectively, I'm running 3 miles Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but I'm also doing gym work. I alternate, so I work out every other day. So one day I'll do chest, chest, triceps, and legs, and another day I'll do back, biceps, and legs. Sometimes I may incorporate a little bit of HIIT in my gym workout where I'm doing burpees, and after I do burpees, I may do a particular exercise with a dumbbell. So I try to stay as active as I can. Like Claymore Rain likes to say, put the pain in. And I like when he uses that verbiage. Putting the pain in is a necessary ingredient that we all need in our lives. To totally abandon pain and totally just seek in comfort, it's not good. It's an imbalance. It's something that's not sustainable. The only reason why comfort even has its aura is because of the evident presence of pain. If pain didn't exist, then comfort would lose its value. So the reason why I work so well when I go to work, as I'm going to work this morning, is because the hardest part of my day is my morning workouts. Getting to work, what I deal with at work is child's play. As a matter of fact, I would argue and say that being at work is a time of reflection, it's a time of thought, it's a time of meditation. When I get home, I have 3 little kids, so there's hardly ever peace in the house. Kids are going to run around and play. They're going to do what they do. I'm not going to stop my children from being children. So usually when I get home, there's work. You got kids to deal with. You got to go over their homework. You got to make sure that they brush their teeth correctly. You got to make sure that they're cleaning their rooms. My little 4-year-old boy, I got to clean him up, wash his ass, and make sure he's clean and ready in the morning. So all those things are work, but it's something that I don't look down upon it because it's my duty as a father to do those things. That's what fathers do, and I enjoy it. It's time that I can spend with my children, even when I wake them up in the morning after my workouts in the morning, and I'm getting them ready while my wife is cooking their breakfast and making their lunch for school. I like waking them up in the morning. I like seeing their little cute faces while they're sleeping in bed. I go to my kids' faces. I kiss their cheeks. I rub their heads. I hold them tight because I love them. So that's not, when I say it's work, I don't say that in a negative way. I don't want the stigma of regular 9-to-5 work to be attached to that terminology when I say work, when I'm talking about my children. I'm just saying it's work because I'm doing something. I'm not just sitting back, kicking back my feet, have my feet raised up, and I'm just watching television, or I'm just sitting there, a couch potato, not doing a damn thing. That's not what I do when I get home. When I get home, I got my kids to attend to. And that's joy. That's the part of being a father, and that's the joy of being a father, being present with your kids. So this morning when I was getting up, there was a voice in my head because yesterday I had a very long day. Remember, on my way to work, it was dark, and I had an early morning meeting at 7 o'clock, 7:15, 7 o'clock. And I ended up leaving work at 6:15. I ended up getting home around 7:30. My day was long. Of course, I didn't eat anything. You guys know my eating habits. I don't eat till I get home. So yesterday I had about a 28, 29 hour fast. When I got home, I just snacked. I just ate some nuts and some grapes. That's what I did. I called it a day. I didn't want to eat too heavy because I know it was getting dark. And I went to bed. Well, I didn't go to bed directly, but I took a shower, shaved, did my manscaping things that I normally do. And I went to bed. I wasn't physically tired this morning. When my alarm rang at 3:10, because that's what time I get up, it wasn't that I was physically tired. I was psychologically tired because I had a long day yesterday. And there was a small voice in my head. The law of duality kicked in. Duality means two. One voice in my head said, hey man, you had a long day yesterday. Just chill today. It's Friday, man. Just stay in bed. You work out consistently. What's one day? It's not gonna kill you. Just take a break. It's Friday, man. Just stay in bed and rest. You had a long day yesterday. So I stayed back in bed. Then another voice came in my head, said, well, you can stay in bed, but the feeling of staying in bed and not waking up for your morning run and your morning gym workout, the feeling of resting and not going to your workout is going to be much, much worse than the feeling you have when you do it. I'm going to repeat that again so you guys can understand what the second voice told me in my head. This is me talking to myself. This is what a healthy mind does to a person when you're battling certain challenges in your life and you have certain obstacles that are in your way, and persistence seems to be something that's lacking in your life. You have certain voices in your head and you have to capitulate to one or the other. You have to adhere to one and dismiss the other. One voice said, rest. You've had a long week. You don't need to go. It's Friday. Stay in bed, right? And at the time, it felt good to hear that, because I'm like, yeah, he's right. He's right. I work out consistently. It's not like I'm fat. It's not like if I don't work out one day that I'm gonna just blow. I mean, I'm okay. That's what the one voice was telling me. As I put my head back on the pillow, and my wife is next to me, because usually my wife won't get up until I get up. If I don't get up, she'll stay in bed. When I get up and start getting ready, that's her cue to get up, and she'll get up and we both go running together and we go to the gym together. The second voice said, yeah, stay in bed. The feeling you get from staying in bed is going to be worse than the feeling you get when you work out. I'm going to repeat that again. The second voice said, the feeling that you get, that you're going to have, because you're comfortable, you're going to sleep, you're going to lay back, you're going to lay in the bed. The feeling that you're going to have from missing your workout, laying in bed when you could have when you could have gotten up, is going to be much worse, much, much worse than the feeling, than the way you're going to feel than if you get up and go work out. So in other words, let me put this in simplistic terms. The second voice is basically telling me this: go ahead, rest. When it's all said and done, you're going to feel like shit that you missed your workout. The feeling you have from missing your workout is going to be far worse, doubly time worse than the feeling you have if you engaged your workout. Guess what voice I listened to? I listened to the second voice. Guys, when you start listening to that voice in your head that makes you, that sort of influences you to do what you don't feel like doing, that's when you know you're winning in life. You say, Literary Pharaoh, what do you mean by winning in life? Like, what do you mean by that? Well, I'm going to tell you what I mean. There's something called the law of entropy. And what that means is that when something exists, it's just a natural law of the universe that thing that exists is going to deteriorate. It's going to degenerate. It's going to get rotten. Over time, it's going to get broken. Over time, it's going to lose its value. If something is in order and you don't give attention to that thing that's in order, quote unquote in order, that order inevitably will turn to chaos and disorder. It's like your lawn. If you own a home, or people who have lawns, they mow their lawns. When you mow your lawn, there's order. The edges are trimmed, the grass is trimmed, everything looks even, it looks nice. For the minute, it looks nice. Over time, if you don't exert intentionality towards the grass and keeping it cut consistently, that grass that looked like it was organized and trimmed and neat will become disorganized and chaotic. You get what I'm telling you? So, the body and the mind naturally wants to rest. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's a natural human experience. We oftentimes want to escape discomfort and escape pain, and we don't want the stress. We don't want good stress either. Nobody wants bad stress, obviously, but we don't even want the good stress because we don't want to engage in physical activity or physical exercise or exert energy that would inevitably put out the necessary hormones to excrete the positive hormone of oxytocin, because you want to increase the happy hormone and decrease cortisol, because cortisol is induced by stress. So when you get to a point where you can influence yourself, discipline yourself to do something that your body naturally doesn't want to do, that means that you have conquered the first phase of being a god, of being a generator of your own reality. When I say God, don't miss what I'm telling you. I mean a God meaning that you govern your own life. You govern your own reality. You don't let your body lead you. Your mind leads you. That's where you get the term mind over matter. Mind is over the matter. Mind is over the body. Mind over hunger. Mind over discomfort. I'm telling you guys, I was in bed comfortable. Anybody, 90% of people would have stayed their ass in bed. I was psychologically drained, folks. When I get up at 3:10, the average American is in their deep REM sleep. It's so dark outside where me and my wife are running. There's no one out there. It's totally silent. And we're out there doing our thing. When you get to a point where you can influence your mind to help beat your body into submission. Yes, I said it. Beat your body into submission. Not literally beating your body, but beating your mind by playing the psychological chess game. Overcoming the natural proclivity of the human bent to lean towards comfort all the time. There has to be a balance. Do I like comfort? You best sure I love comfort. I love comfort, and I lean into comfort because I've deserved the comfort. So if I bust my ass in the gym, or I bust my ass at work, or I bust my ass when I'm sun gazing in my driveway doing crunches or doing ab work or stretching my back because I'm getting older. I'm an older man. I'm in my 40s, and I'm doing those things to make sure that my body is pliable and malleable and flexible, that I'm not stiff. Doing it in the sun, but I'm sun gazing. That's not really comfortable. It's not. But guess what? Because I put in the pain, there's a residual impact that's created from that pain that I put in. Volitional pain that I chose to put myself under. It's not pain that came accidentally. It's not pain that came because I had no choice and I was just, oh my God, I didn't know what to do. No. Real pain. After that pain is put in, my body ends up being in a natural state of comfort. When you get released from something that's so hard, the body naturally puts itself in a comfortable state. So even if your environment is chaotic, you've already went through hell. Your mind state is in a mind state of heaven. Your mind state is in a in a mindset of nirvana, of peace, tranquility. So it means that when people say, "Hey, man, literary pharaoh, man, you're easygoing, man. You handle everything with ease." Well, if you know what I've been through in the morning and you know what my regimen is like, you can understand why these things don't faze me. The law of opposites. They work simultaneously, folks. Immediately you put yourself through something that's rigorous, whether it's a workout, whether it's studying for an exam, whatever you're doing that you naturally don't want to do. When you've put in the hard work into that, when you've exerted all of your energy and you've done the best you can, the body has a way, the mind has a way of paying you back. The universe will pay you back tenfold. It'll restore to you the peace that you've always been looking for. And the peace it's not predicated on any external stimuli at all. It's not predicated on anything on the outside. Your peace is going to come from within because of what you've done within. The conversation I had with myself this morning was personal. I told my wife about it. It sounds silly to most people, but it's not. It's called intrapersonal communication. Communication within oneself. It's not that I'm crazy talking to myself. I'm thinking internally. I'm not responding to myself. The law of duality worked in me this morning. I had two choices. I could either stay my ass in bed, and which wouldn't be a bad thing, really. It's not that I'm lazy or I don't put in the work. I work out. I do all those things. I watch what I eat. I'm very disciplined, all that stuff. It doesn't mean that I'm slacking. But that other voice that wants me to be consistent, that voice of excellence, that voice of God, not the God of the Bible. When I say God, guys, get out of that mind frame of the Christian indoctrination or the religious indoctrination. You are God's. So when I'm saying God, I'm talking about you. You ever heard people say things like, man, God must have told me to do this because when I did this, it worked. It's not God telling you to do that shit. You told yourself to do that. You are the God that you're talking about. That's the irony of all of this. We keep looking for something external outside of us where actually the essence of God, that divine spark, resides in us already. We don't need to seek it. It's not something that's outside of us. That's the big ass irony. That's the big joke about all this. It's not outside. It's within you. So I had a decision to make. You're always going to have two voices. One's going to tell you to relax, and it's not that the one that's telling me to relax. It's not that that's the devil. It's not like it's a devil and a God thing. It's one voice is operating on a high degree of excellence and seeking perfection and seeking traits of divinity. All right, that voice that told me to get my ass up and said, hey, okay, you can go ahead and rest, but just do know that if you don't work out, the feeling of not working out is going to be 10 times worse than the feeling you have from your workout. And it's true, because when I got my ass up and ran and finished my workout, yes, it was hard and I did it, but guess what? When I was done, I felt good. But imagine if I skipped it. Right now, I'll be going to work thinking like, damn, man, I should have went to. I could have got up. Oh, I could have got up. Why did I? I could have got up. Oh, why did I do that? Why did I? I could have got up. Man, I would continually question myself. Why didn't I get up? Why didn't I get up? I could have got up. Why didn't I get up? I could have got up. That's what I would have done. And then the next time I worked out, I would have put in double the work to make up for the day that I missed. That's the kind of psychological mind games that I play with myself. So going through that stress, it's not worth it to stay my ass in bed. It's better I just wake up and stick to my consistent regimen, which is what I did. Now, how do I feel right now? I feel great. I feel good. I feel good that I conquered that voice. And neither voice is good or bad. It's just one is seeking a logical remedy to my psychological stress, because the logical remedy is to say, hey, man, take a break, man, take a day off. Yeah, take a day off. You know, the average American, you're stressed at work, take a day off. It's no big deal. And in moderation. Oh, you can do this in moderation. Oh, it's no big deal if you dibble and dabble in drugs every now and then. Everybody is always trying to find a little gray line. I don't do that shit. I don't operate that way. I like to operate on the extremes. I'm either going to be all in or all out. So if I'm going to tell myself that I'm all in, I'm always going to have the opposite force trying to pull me back into a state of comfort. You can't seek comfort first. And you can't disrespect pain. You cannot disrespect discomfort. You have to have a balanced relationship with both elements. You can't abandon and neglect discomfort. You can't tell yourself, oh man, I don't want to do that. That's too hard. You can't do that. You have to have a good relationship with both. You have to be intimate with both. You have to have balance with both. It's like a man who has two wives. You can't abandon one wife and just give all the attention to one. You have to give attention to both. You have to put in the pain. And then you have to also put in the pleasure. The pleasure oftentimes is something that you don't even have to put in. The pleasure is found in the pain. That's where you get the term no pain, no gain. There's no gain without pain. Now, when I say pain, that's metaphorically speaking. Because when you're working out, it's a good pain. It's not a bad pain. It's not like somebody getting a knife and giving you a bunch of cuts on your body. That's a bad pain. I'm not talking about that type of pain. I'm talking about the pain and the exhaustion of the good stress that's induced with exercise. Okay? Not the kind of pain from doing something silly or harming yourself. When you work out, you shouldn't be injured. Yeah, you're tearing your muscles, you're increasing your cardiovascular capacity and your endurance. All right, you're expanding certain muscle groups, and you're keeping your body intact. You're getting stronger. That's not injury. That's building. But oftentimes when you're building something, you need to break down to build. So every time that if you're building muscle, your muscles are gonna feel sore. That's the good pain. So when I say pain, I don't want you guys to think that I'm saying to go out there and do something to harm yourself and then get comfort. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about pain that's caused by doing something good for yourself that your body naturally doesn't want to do. And I'm fixated on the train or on the track of exercise because that's what I do. But it's not just exercise, it's everything else in life. It applies to anything else in life. Whether you're trying to get into law school or try out for something, whatever it is, you are going to be put in a state of being uncomfortable. The state of being uncomfortable is just as important as the state of having comfort and having pleasure. If you don't believe me, look what happens to a woman who's pregnant, who goes through 3 trimesters of holding a baby in her womb. The body changes. It's uncomfortable. The woman is hot. She has hot flashes. She has these cravings in the middle of the night. She's getting up to pee every second. She can't sleep. She's sleeping on her back. She's extra hot. Her body is just changing. She's upset. She's having mood swings for 9 straight months. And then when she's having the baby, it's also painful. Sometimes women have to get an epidural. It's stressful. The woman has to push another human being out of her body. Such an uncomfortable moment. But in that uncomfortable moment comes that baby, which is the joy. But you don't even have to put in work for the joy. The joy just comes. It's an inevitable response to you embracing the pain. When a woman decides to get pregnant, she knows that she's going to go through 9 months of being uncomfortable. It's part of the process. It's part of the freaking process. So don't try to run from it. Embrace it. All right? So that's what I want to tell you guys. That voice tried to get me this morning, man. But I didn't let it, man. It tried to tell me. It said, hey, man, just lay down. You good. And I laid my ass back down. But then another voice said, really? You're going to stay in bed? All right. Go ahead and stay in bed. But just do know that after you stay in bed and you wake up and you get ready for work, the feeling you have from staying in bed and not working out is going to be far worse than the feeling you have when you go work out. And when I heard that, I was like, okay, he's right. That whatever voice that is, it's right. So I'm gonna make sure I do that. So I got my black ass up and I did what I did, and my wife trailed behind me as I was getting ready for our workout this morning. So yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys that. Listen to the voice in your head, and oftentimes you know what the right thing to do. You're just trying to find easy ways and shortcuts. There's no shortcut, man. There's no shortcuts. There's no shortcuts. And peace out, guys. And one more thing, the reason why Bud Crawford was successful because he didn't take any shortcuts. He doesn't drink. He always stays in shape. He's dedicated to boxing. So when it came to one of his biggest challenges in Canelo, he made it look easy. He made it look, even though it wasn't easy, he made it look easy. So life, you end up putting yourself on easy mode when you put in the work. And people on the outside would say, man, he's so smooth. Everything looks easy for him. But you don't know what I've been through, though. You don't know what I've just done. I've accomplished something that you couldn't even do. My consistency is my superpower. All right? Your consistency is your superpower, and it's your pathway to getting joy and pleasure. You can't dismiss discomfort. It's like karma. It'll come back and bite you in the ass. It won't let you have pleasure. So you have to embrace the pain. Put the pain in. Like the way Claymore Rain says that. Put the pain in. If you don't know who Claymore Rain is, he's a guy that he has a boxing podcast. And usually he does these shorts, and when he's on his way to the gym, or when he's done working out, he'll say things to me, yeah, I just got to put the pain in. And when he said that, it resonated with me. He's right. You put the pain in. You put the pain in to get the pleasure. There's no pain. There's no pleasure without the pain, guys. It's harmony. It's like a balance. It's like a dance. It's like a tango. It's like negative energy, positive energy, feminine energy, masculine energy. The law of opposites, the law of duality. It's a universal law. That's why people who work out have high energy. That's why people who work out are very vibrant. That's why people who work out, their senses, they don't have brain fog. You can't stay stagnant, folks. You got to do something. Run, walk, lift weights, do something. Stay active. All right? It's not just because you want to lose weight, because it's just healthy. Losing weight is just an inevitable symptom or inevitable outcome that comes as a result from actually working out. So your body ends up looking good because you feel good internally. Everything starts internally. All right? So peace out, guys. Thank you for entertaining me. And remember, your health is your wealth. Love you guys. Peace.